Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel, where we talk about movies, psychology, psychiatry, and sometimes I teach you a few Arabic words. I like to have my channel offering a variety of content. I first started to be active in my channel a few weeks back, and I decided to make film reviews in Arabic. Now, when I thought about it, most people around the world speak the English language. So it makes sense that I make videos in English to reach more people. So today I'll be talking about the movie Wrong Turn, the one that is released this year, 2021. I think most of you have heard of the original movie that was released in 2003. It starred Eliza Dushku. Now, in that movie, back then, it was quite successful and it led to a release of many sequels. I think they've released around like 6 sequels of Wrong Turn. The problem is each sequel is worse in quality than the one before. So it makes sense that sooner or later a director will come and direct a newer version or a remake or a reboot of Wrong Turn. I think it's a reboot. See, the first one in 2003 involved a group of friends who go hiking and then they take a wrong turn, obviously, and then they are faced by a group of deranged family. So it was quite disturbing, it was quite horrific, but it was successful, it was thrilling. This newer version starts a new face, a new actress. Her name is Imad Dumont. This is the first film I've ever seen her in, but she was quite impressive. I was quite impressed by her performance, and I tried to check what other movies she made. I didn't find any popular roles for her, but I'm definitely going to keep a close eye on her. She's quite good. Now, this film has a similar concept to the 2003 version. Again, a group of adolescents go into a hiking in the Appalachian Mountains, in Virginia, where they face, in this case, not a deranged family, but a cult called the Foundation. Now, these cults have been isolated from from society and the world, and have been living their own way with their own rules. It's somewhat similar to the movie The Village, and also most recently the film that was called Antebellum. There are quite similarities to that. Now, it's quite thrilling. There is depth. I think what made this movie successful, the newer version, is that the character development was quite good. The director managed to build good characters that we got attached to. So this group of hikers cross paths with the Foundation, which is the cult. And of course, what happens is that they take them as prisoners, and of course they try to punish them, and then an accident happens. It's quite gripping. It's quite disturbing. There are a lot of gorish effects. I certainly enjoyed it a lot, and I thought it was quite successful. I think it's a very, very good reboot, a very good remake. So would I recommend Wrong Turn 2021? Yes, definitely. As I mentioned, the actors are pretty good for unknowns, and then also the plot is nice, and the director really manages to create a very dark atmosphere. As I mentioned, maybe it lacks a little bit of originality, because we've seen these cults, isolated cults before in many previous movies, but I think the execution here was quite to the point. Now, usually in my reviews, I like to talk about any psychological or mental illness type of issues. Now, in this movie, there isn't much of a touch that I can speak about. I can say, of course, there is a lot of anxiety, a lot of panic when they get lost, the hikers get lost. And then also the cult themselves. I mean, as a cult who are isolated, I think this is an abnormal behavior. I think it's sort of driven by social issues in this group of people. And I think there is an element of brainwashing in it. See, for a cult to become active, you need a group. So, how can you convince a big group of people to act in a certain way and isolate themselves from the world, isolate themselves from society? I think it takes a lot. But again, I think when you brainwash people, and the people are usually, we as humans, we are driven by peer groups, peer pressure. So we want to belong. So I'm sure that many of those people who joined the cult, either they were born into it, so they have no choice, and that's the only thing they know, or they are driven by the pressure, because they know if they go out, something else will happen. This also, can be applied in terms of terrorist groups, for example, ISIS group or many of the Al Qaeda or all these groups. I always think, how can they build up so big of a number of people that they can join them, although they know, I'm sure of like half of them know that it's wrong. What they're doing is wrong, it's not true, it's not right. But again, they're driven by the pressure. And if you say no, if you try to get out of the group, you'll end up dead. So you have no choice. So again, that element was quite intriguing to me, because I'm trying to understand why people do that. And as I mentioned, I always like to go into psychological aspects of movies. Back to the movie, as I mentioned, it was very enjoyable, very entertaining, disturbing, dark. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Usually when I see a movie the first time, I give it a high score. When I see it a second time, the score drops. So I wonder if I have time to see Wrong Turn again. Would it get the same rating? I don't know. But I did give it a 9 out of 10. Keep in mind that I'm a bit biased because I saw it in the theaters, and it's been a very, very long time since I went to the theater and watched a movie there because of obviously the pandemic. So going to a theater was a breath of fresh air. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. So maybe that's why I enjoyed the movie more. And perhaps that's why I'm a bit biased.